What's up, you guys? How you doing? I hope you guys are good because I am doing amazing, fantastic, beautiful, as you guys can see. Okay, so 9 months after our move back to Nigeria, how are we faring? What do I think? How are we coping? Do I have any regrets? And I am going to be speaking directly from my heart. I don't have any points anywhere. In fact, I thought about this video 2 minutes ago, okay? But I decided to just, really talk to you guys about how I feel, moving back to Nigeria. So I'll start this video by saying that I'm not one of those people who moved back to Nigeria because I couldn't stand the UK, or I couldn't, I wasn't having a good time, or I was suffering or something, right? I'm not saying that's why people move back, but I'm just trying to say that I don't have any sad story or sad reason why we left the UK, okay? We left the UK because what took us there brought us back. Okay, that's pretty much it. But not just that it brought us back, we decided to come back, okay, because we had the choice to remain back in the UK. It was even a choice that we thought about a little more. We kind of explored it, but at the end we were like, no, Nigeria is still a better option for us, okay? Based on how our lives are structured and some other factors that I might not come and talk about, but Nigeria was actually the better option for us, right? So like I said, it wasn't like the UK was terrible. I enjoyed myself there. We didn't have any issues. I loved where we lived. Okay, I loved the city we lived in. I loved the house that we lived in. It was just a smaller house than I was used to. But for UK standard, that house was very good. But it was smaller than I was used to, right? But it wasn't really a problem. The area where we lived in was a very nice area. Not just the city now. I mean, like our area especially, very nice area. It had just new builds. It was a very nice, is it estate I'll call that thing? It was a very nice place, right? So when it comes to, career, I was okay because I was doing the YouTube I was doing in Nigeria. It was a very seamless transition. I didn't have any hiccups, right, with transition. Initially, I was thinking, would I be able to sustain it? Because sometimes when you move abroad, your content could just disappear. Because many of us that started in Nigeria, we started in Nigeria with Nigerian content. Most of the people that are watching us are people who wanted to watch Nigerian content. Then when you now move to different locations, it's like, okay, we don't care. Right? So I was a little bit skeptical about that, but it didn't really affect me much, to be honest. Yeah, it didn't really affect me much. I was still doing well. In fact, I would say that I did better in certain areas, like in getting sponsored videos. You guys know I review wigs as well. In getting videos like that, I did better in the UK because it was easier for companies to send me wigs there, compared to Nigeria. In fact, since I moved back to Nigeria, many of those companies have dropped because they are like, we can't ship to Nigeria. And I'm like, I understand, that's fine. Yeah, but career wise for me, it wasn't really any problem. It was even more positives than negatives. For my husband as well, it was more positives than negatives, right? So yeah, so I wouldn't say, oh, we came back because of money. It wasn't because of, well, well, technically, we didn't want to leave money on the table. Let me put it back. Let me put it that way. We didn't want to leave money on the table, so we decided to come back, right? But we could have easily just stayed back and enjoyed ourselves. It wasn't because, people talk about how the society is corrupt, or not corrupt. The society is, what's the word now? I want to say decay. Yeah, like, some people complain about, raising children abroad, your children would this. It wasn't that for me. To be honest, where I was and the children I came in contact with, I did not have any problems with them. Like, I didn't have serious issues with the way they raise their kids, okay? Aside the godly parts, they don't pray in their schools, they don't preach in their schools and all of that. Aside that part, I was okay with how the school system in the UK was, or is, right? At some point, I got a teacher in Nigeria to be coaching my kids because we were coming back, right? It wasn't that I got a teacher for them because I wanted them to have that Nigerian standard. See, I don't know why parents are just doing that to their kids, okay? Whatever standard they have in the UK, it's actually good enough, right? Now, I'm not saying you should not pay attention to your kids' work, because if you're not careful, your kids will fall through the cracks, right? I'm not saying don't pay attention to your kids' work or don't pay attention to your kids' education because you're in the UK. Don't do that. Please pay 110% attention to your kids, right? However, when people say, oh, our Nigerian system is better, I'm like, okay, but at the end of the day, our Nigerian system are producing people who have to go and, or who for the most part have to go and continue masters there. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, we say, oh, our Nigerian system is this, that, and this, that. But at the end of the day, look at our society and look at their society. So they are doing something right. Let's just put it at that. They are doing something right. Let's stop deceiving ourselves that, oh, Nigerian system, the Nigerian educational system. My dear, now copy with the copy, right? Now copy with the copy, and they are still doing well there. Now, if their society, if they are not so educated in their society, it's not because the educational system has issues. It's because their society in general are prioritizing different things. Unlike us that prioritize education, them they prioritize work, right? They prioritize, like, you know, being hands-on. So they're not in school for 20 years. Many of them, after high school, they are done. They gotta start looking for jobs and all of that, okay? Then some other factors too that have to do with, you know, the decadence in the society might make them not want to continue with school and all of that. But it is not because the educational system there is worse. I hope that makes sense, because at the end of the day, many of you are still applying to go and do your masters there. Many programs that many of you that are professionals in Nigeria, many programs that you want, that you need to even do better in your career, they offer it there, okay? When it comes to tech and all of those things, they are still the ones that are driving those things with their educational system that is not, they are still the ones that are, that are doing so well in all those things, right? And I don't just mean the UK, I mean, you know, the Western world, UK, US, Canada. I don't know about Canada, but at least UK, US, and all some of those countries, they are still the ones that are giving the best programs for the careers that you people are pursuing here in Nigeria. Okay, so many of the programs they have available there, we don't have them in Nigeria, or we have a substandard one in Nigeria. So anyway, so my point is that it wasn't because of the educational system that we came back. I actually liked the way it was, and being that I was also a stay-at-home mom, I do not have a problem with it. Anyone going to learn for school, I feel teaching at the rest for house. And I mean, when it comes to morals or whatever, you know, character building and all of that, anyone going to learn for school, I feel teaching at for house, right? In fact, I'll even say that since I've come back to Nigeria, I'm like, anyway, story for another day. I've talked about it in a different video, how my kids are now learning some stuff here that I was like, when I was in the UK, they know they learn all this rubbish. They know they learn all this rubbish. So who are we deceiving? Anyway, so it wasn't because of the educational system. It wasn't because of what other reasons can I even give? It wasn't even because of insecurity or whatever. Yes, I got at some point. See, there's just this constant feeling of this is not my home, right? That one is just facts. Wherever you are in the world, you have this constant feeling of this is not my home. I didn't like that feeling. Okay, I didn't like that feeling. So any little thing that happened, especially in the UK, where, you know, this fight against immigration and, you know, this tussle that is happening both beneath the surface and above the surface, like this tussle between immigrants and, you know, indigenes or whatever, and citizens, or not even citizens. Anyway, that thing that's going on there, even though it wasn't something that was very in your face in where I was in Norwich, it was always at the back of my mind, right? And when you are an immigrant in another person's country, any small, you know, issue that happens where they are attacking immigrants, or immigrants are, you know, you just have this unrest, even if it's far away from you, even if it's happening in London or in Norwich, or it's happening in wherever, you just have this unrest that this is my neighbors. You know, you just have that unrest. So it was constantly there, but that's not why we came back, right? That's not why I said, oh, let's just, no, it wasn't why. So yeah, all I'm trying to say is that I did not come back to Nigeria because anything was pursuing me, okay? I came back to Nigeria for two reasons. One, my husband's job, which is very important to us. So wherever you go, we go. I always tell my husband, wherever you go, we are going, please. Not only is your job important to us, you are important to us, okay? You as a person, what he has to offer as a father, as a husband, as, you know, our protector or whatever, provider, is very important to us. So wherever he goes, we go, right? So that's like the major reason why we came back. But the second reason why we came back is the fact that the UK, I didn't have my relatives. We didn't have, both of us, we don't have relatives in the UK. Now, it's not like I don't have any relatives in the UK, okay? I have relatives that live there. Most of the relatives I have in the UK are those kind of relatives that if we see maybe in the village during December, we are happy, we are kicking, we are good. But aside that, like, it is what it is, okay? And it's vice versa. I'm not saying that, oh, I feel that way about them, but they want, no. I'm sure they don't even send my papa either. So, so when I'm talking about relatives, I mean, I didn't have my siblings there. I didn't have my parents there. He doesn't have his siblings there. He doesn't have his parents there. So when we had the opportunity to come back to Nigeria, it was almost like a no-brainer because what else is going to keep us there? I wasn't willing to stay back and be a singlish mom, you know, while he comes back to Nigeria to do his work. I'll not be there because I want my children to become citizens, or I want to gain anything from the system, right? I wasn't willing to do that because there was no, if it was Canada, like I keep telling people, if it was that we went to Canada and, you know, the job, whatever, you know, he required him to come back to Nigeria, I would have said, see you later, okay? We'll remain here. You can come and visit. You can, you know, send us money or whatever, but we'll remain here and make it work for a few years or something, right? Because I had my siblings there, you know, I mean, it would have been easier for me to just say, okay, no wahala, let me just try. But the fact that we didn't have any other person there or people there that I really would have stayed back for, we decided to come back, right? But I had friends there that I actually miss. I had friends there that if I had stayed back, I would have had a good time with those people, okay? Like, I wouldn't have felt it as much. But again, they are not my siblings, they're not my relatives. They also have plans that can also change. So, you know, I didn't really have much to hold me back there in the UK. So I decided to come back to Nigeria. Anyway, that's it about, you know, why we decided to come back. Now, since I have been back, I've given you guys updates here and there. You guys, you know, I'm always talking. So I'm sure many of you, and the things I'm about to say in this video, you might have already heard them, you know, before, but I just want to say it officially, okay? So since I have come back, I'm enjoying Lagos now a little bit, okay? I feel a little bit, you know, shy saying that, or not even just shy, like a little bit of embarrassment saying that, because I know I used to talk about Lagos before. I never liked Lagos. Fun fact, and I'm sure I've said it here before, but if you're watching this video for the first time, I grew up in Lagos. So I was born in this Lagos. I grew up in Lagos, but I grew up in Festac, okay? Festac right now, hey God, the Festac I'm seeing right now is not the Festac I knew growing up, but you know, I grew up in Festac. I went to school. I went to Nigerian Navy Secondary School in Ojo. Yeah, I have a lot of relatives here in Lagos. So when I used to say I didn't like Lagos, it wasn't anything personal. Yes, it's personal. Lagos is just the wild west. Anyway, yeah, it wasn't anything personal. It's just the fact that Lagos is crowded, or I preferred Port Harcourt. So Port Harcourt was a more quiet city. Someone like me, I prefer a more quiet city. I'm not the kind of person who is looking for the fast life, or who wants to be outside, or who wants to be, you know, experiencing certain things. You know, there are things I want to experience, but I don't want them badly enough to live where I can experience them. So what I mean is that as much as, oh, I love the idea of, you know, going to the beach in Lagos, or going to, where else? To be honest, nothing else. I know they go club. I don't care about clubs or anything, or nightlife or whatever. When it comes to even, you know, fun places to take your kids to be honest, when you've gone to one or two, you've gone to all. You know, past bouncing, jumping, riding carts, or that car or whatever, you know, going merry-go-round, like, you know, past those things, right? So once you've gone to one or two of them, you pretty much can keep going back to those one or two. So if I was in somewhere like Port Harcourt, where they don't have as many, it's not like they don't even have, they have, but they don't have as many options as we have in Lagos. I would still have been fine taking my kids to those 1 or 2, 3 places that are open in Port Harcourt, and would have been good, right? Because again, they are kids, they just need to have fun. They just want to have fun. They don't really care about, oh, we've come here like 10 times. They don't care. You know, is it swimming? Is it what? Most of those things are available in other smaller cities, right? So there's really nothing that I am gaining here in Lagos that I would say, oh, this is the strong reason why I am here in Lagos. Nothing like that, right? I'm in Lagos the same reason why I was in the UK, which is because of my husband. Even Port Harcourt, it's the same thing. Because I grew up in Lagos and marriage carried me to Port Harcourt. So everything that my husband Kosam. So I'm here in Lagos because of him, but I have to confess, I'm actually enjoying Lagos. I like the house that we live in, like I've told you guys in my previous video. At least the house is bigger than the house. It's not as big as the one that we had in Port Harcourt though, but it's bigger than the one we had in the UK, right? You know, we have lights. As I said that we have lights, I had to pause my camera and put it back on just in case NEPA takes lights, you know. But we have like they rarely take lights here, but we're paying through our nose. Like it's very expensive to get like 24 hours power here. But you know, it's all good. I can't really complain much. My kids' school. When we talk about education now, my kids' school, I'm not. Let me just say that I'm okay with my kids' school. I'm not like thrilled. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm so happy that my kids are in this school. I'm just okay with the school, right? KORA is going to be doing year 6. So I'm looking forward to her doing year 6 here because that's when they have all the, you know, you can be a prefect. I want her to have a chill year, right? I want her to have that year next year when she will have a chill year. Well, hopefully it's a chill year, right? Because they have to write the exams and all of that. But, you know, I want her to experience that year 6 life. So we're not really changing schools anytime soon, because initially I was thinking, okay, when after she's done with year 5 she'll enter secondary school and maybe I'll change my kids' school. But because I want her to just continue year 6, I'm not changing their school anytime soon, so I just have to be okay with their school. But there's room for a lot of improvement, but so far so good. The school is okay. Education wise, they're doing well. My kids did not have any issues transitioning back to the system here. Like, I was actually surprised because initially I told you guys, now when I knew that we were coming back to Nigeria, I got them a lesson teacher in Nigeria to try and just, I didn't want them to just go directly from the UK curriculum back to Nigerian curriculum. I thought it was going to be a problem for them, but it actually is not. My children are doing so well. They are acing almost. In fact, they get over 90. All their courses, they get over 90, except 1 or 2. I don't know why is Yoruba compulsory? Why is Yoruba compulsory? Why can't they even choose between Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa? Because that's the only one that my kids are struggling with. I think French as well, because you know in the UK they didn't do French, or they did, but not as intensely as we did it here in Nigeria, as we do it here in Nigeria. So whenever they get 80 something, I already know it's either Yoruba or French. But even French, KORA improved. In fact, the last French KORA did, she got 100 over 100. Shout out to my dad, because my dad was putting her through. My dad knew how to speak French. He actually did French in uni, I think. As a, is it sub-course they call it? What they call it? You know, then he said you could do 2 degrees. So he did accounting and French, right? So after my dad, you know, coached KORA got 100 over 100 in her exam in French. So, but for the most part, if they get any score below 90, it is most likely Yoruba. Now Yoruba they cause them, and I'm like, why people not adding it to their results? I'm not even saying they should not even do the Yoruba, but don't use that to spoil my children's results, because when they get over 90, we it's a thing in this house, so they enjoy themselves. I think they like the fact that they are doing so well in school. So they are always, you know, not so sad. Okay, I'm trying not to make them become those people that are very, you know, anal about things like this. But whenever they see their Yoruba score, it's always like, you've come here now to spoil our score. But for the most part, they transition back to Nigeria, the Nigerian school system, very seamlessly. They are doing well. They don't have any issues. Even so that was not even going to school in the UK. so that I was like, God, make my pikin not become illiterate. So is doing so well. She's writing, she's reading. She just caught up quickly, just like that, right? Which is why I totally understand why in the UK they don't rush children into going to school, right? I totally understand it, because Have you seen a secondary school child in the UK that cannot read or cannot, speak properly or cannot spell or cannot, well, some, there are some, okay, but I mean for the average child in the UK that is either in year 5, year 6 or a secondary school there, they can read, they can write, they are doing projects, they are doing research, they are doing all those things, right? And these are people that for the first 5 or 6 years of their life, they're not learning shit. They're not learning Shingbang. They're not doing. They're not. It's like it's confusing sometimes when they're not learning anything. I remember then I'll be reading to Sophia, and a simple 3-letter word that I think she's supposed to know. I'll say, Sophia, I'll read say this thing, or Sophia, read this. She'll say, I don't know. I cannot read it. Read it for me. And low key, I was worried though. Let me not lie. Low key, I was like, ha. Make my pikin not become illiterate too. But she has caught up now in this is just second term, right? They're about to finish second term. And she's reading, she's writing, she's doing very well, acing all her courses, maths, whatever they are doing, acing everything. So again, I was even asking myself, is it that even the UK thing even give them more leverage? Although they were doing well before we even left, so it's not that's not it, right? So educational wise, they're good. The school is okay, they're fine. But yeah, generally the issues I have right now is that I still struggle with the environment here. I still struggle with the environment, right? And it's not just because I'm coming, we just came back from the UK. It's not just because of that. No, that one adds. That one adds. When you live with better, when you might know that there's better out there, but when you experience it, it's difficult to come back and go back to nonsense, right? But even if I even remove the UK part and I compare Port Harcourt to Lagos, the environment in Lagos is really, really terrible. Thankfully, around me, things are beginning to change a little bit. The dustbin and trash I used to complain about behind my house, that one has been sorted out now. They no longer throw trash there, but the ones that they threw before are still there. It's no longer smelling because it's been, months at this point. It's no longer smelling, but I can visibly see the trash that they threw. Those things don't disintegrate now. All the plastic, bottles and nylons and all of that, they are still there. Plastic bags. They are still there, right? But aside that, generally, around me, things have changed a little bit. But it still smells. Everywhere still stinks, okay? Like when I go running in the morning, everywhere still stinks. This is something that when I was in Port Harcourt, I never dealt with. When I was in the UK, I didn't even, at least Port Harcourt itself, you can even see some trash. But UK, I never dealt with it. Coupled with the fact that the weather itself is even not going to make things bad. The weather is very cold. Most times the weather is cold there. So even when you have trash in your house, it doesn't even smell. But here, I even stopped them from keeping trash inside the house because 2 days like this, your house is already smelling. So now we put the trash outside. All the, food particles and all those things, all the food scraps, we have to put them outside. If you keep them in your house, 2 days is already smelling, okay? And then in the UK, I didn't have to deal with. Now, we had flies in summer, right? We had flies. I remember when I first moved to the UK, I was like, oh my God, we don't have flies. I'm so happy. When summer came, tick, big flies like this, right? So we only have flies in summer, but by the time we put nets in our kitchen, I stopped, seeing flies. We stopped experiencing. I stopped having flies inside the house when I was cooking. I just opened the back door, closed the net, and I stopped experiencing flies, right? But aside flies and spiders, we had lots of spiders. We didn't have ants. Like literally, I don't think I saw ants in that house for the almost 2 years that we stayed there. We didn't have ants. I remember then, initially when I first came, like let's say I forget to take the sugar and keep it where it's supposed to be. Or let's say I buy something sweet and we leave it out. I remember then once I see it, I'll be like, oh my God, I don't want ants. But I never saw ants there. I never saw ants. I never saw cockroach. I never saw rats. I never saw, some of those, even, those whatever insects that, come into the house that we see here in Nigeria. I never saw them. But since I've come back to Lagos, the ants in this compound, they want to fumigate this compound tomorrow. I can't wait. Because the ants in this compound, be eating biscuits here now, just drop it on this table. Go and come back. You will see the biscuits walking away. You will see that those your cookies will be walking away because ants will carry them and be going. And it's not even a case of, oh, your house is dirty. My house is very, very clean. We clean this house, like, in fact, too much. It's almost like at some point I became obsessed with cleaning because, I don't know. But the house, we always have ants, right? And I don't even know if I'm remembering things wrongly, but I think we also had ants like this in Port Harcourt. We had ants in Port Harcourt, but I don't think they were this bad. So yeah, although we're dealing with ants, I have not dealt with rats. We don't have rats here. We also, I've seen cockroaches. I've seen cockroaches, and these cockroaches are coming from when they worked on the sewage here, like the 2 weeks after that, I was seeing cockroaches in the house, right? All these big cockroaches that maybe came from the sewage or something. I was seeing, but I'll just see them dead. Like I never saw anyone alive crawling or whatever. I'll just come out and see dead cockroach in my house, and I'm like, what's in the happen for here? But generally, again, I'm still referring to the environment. The smells, it's difficult dealing with the smells. When I go running or walking or whatever, like everywhere just stinks. Okay. So aside the smell, the society in general is just annoying to me to have to deal with. People in this country are so selfish, okay? Especially in this Lagos. I keep saying it that in this Lagos, you cannot survive with all your nuts complete, okay? If you're somebody who has home training, you're somebody who is considerate of others, you're somebody who, you have all your marbles together, your head is screwed on tight, right? You will not cope in Lagos. You have to use your hand and unscrew it. Small, I'm not saying you should totally lose all your screws, right? But unscrew some, okay? Unlearn some of your home training. If not, they will deal with you. There's one I'm even dealing with right now. Anyway, it's a long story, but people are very, very selfish. And I've said that, okay, two can play that game, okay? Two can definitely play that game. You guys want to act like, oh, other people don't matter, right? I will matter by force. You go and learn by force, but people are naturally very selfish in this country. Everybody's thinking about me. Everybody's thinking about what's convenient for them. Everybody wants, just wants to take over, just wants to oppress the next person, okay? Like everybody's looking to oppress you, either to steal from you or to oppress you, okay? The constant people begging everywhere, people trying to obtain you. Now I understand that the country is hard, okay? I understand that there's poverty in the land, people are suffering, and trust me, I try my best to actually help out, right? I try my best when I can to actually help out. No be say I know they go through things, so no be say I get money like that, okay? Like forget that we come here and look like this sometimes. Money is not falling from any tree for me, right? Or whatever. So myself, I'm still going through it, but I won't use that as an excuse to now be cruel to others or be mean to others or to start cutting corners or whatever, just to obtain or to cheat the next person, right? But in Nigeria, they don't send your papa. They will cheat you when they can. Everybody's looking to cheat you. Everybody's looking to gain from you unduly, okay? And it's sad. It's actually sad. I've said this thing before and I'm going to say it again. You people, Nigerians are not good people. I didn't say you are not good people. No, you are good, okay? But Nigerians in general are not good people. In fact, I've stopped feeling sorry for the country. Right now, the one that still gets to me is the insecurity. Okay, like all these attacks, like when it happened on Sunday in Jos, that thing, oh my God. Each time I close my eyes, I just see that woman holding her son and, telling him to wake up. Like, why do I even remember this thing right now? That's the only part where I feel sorry for Nigeria. But you see what Tinubu is doing? You see this city boys movement? You see this sharing of rice and this, that. You see this general bad governance that we have in Nigeria? I don't feel sorry for Nigerians one bit. I've even lost hope. I've lost hope in this country. I've lost hope that, we are going to elect a good leader. To me, Peter Obi should not even try to come out in this 2027. He should just go and rest, okay? Sir, you have done enough. Just go and rest. I've given up hope in Nigeria. I've not given up hope in God, though. I know that I will be fine. I know that God is still protecting me. God is still helping me and my family. God is still keeping us, and my friends and people that are close to me. God is still keeping us. So I've not given up hope in God that things would always be better for me. But you see, for us as a country, I'm not holding my breath, because the average Nigerian is a wicked person. Even if you remove Tinubu and everybody in government right now, even if you remove like every single person in a position of authority in this country, right? I mean, from local government, in fact, from security man, because those ones still have their own authority or power where they are, from security man to head of this department in this secretariat, or I don't say secretariat in this secretariat, or head of this in this, you know, parastatal, or in this government, this in this from those people down to the president. If you remove every single one of them and bring fresh people and put, the country is not going to change one bit. In fact, it might even get worse. Okay, because many of them are poor people, hungry people that have been looking for opportunities since now they've gotten it. So they might even be worse. The country might even be worse off. So I've given up hope on, oh, new Nigeria is going to be better. Nigeria will be better for me. Okay, for me and my household, we'll serve the Lord and we'll be good. But you see, the rest of Nigeria, I'm not holding my breath, because, and I know this sounds bleak or whatever, but that's just how I feel. Because when you look around you, the average person is wicked, the average person is mean, the average person is trying to steal from you, to just get something from you, the average person. And this is not how it is in the UK or abroad, in many countries abroad, right? I'm not saying corruption does not exist in some of these countries. It does exist. In fact, everywhere around the world, corruption exists. But the average person in that country is not looking to be mean to you, or to chop you, or to cheat you, or to whatever. The average person in Canada or in the UK is not, I don't know about US, yeah, but even in the US, I mean, I see videos, I hear stories, right? The average person cares about the environment. The average person cares about other people, right? Their shared spaces, their common interests. They have, you know, this spirit of nationalism, or what I call it, right? The average person wants their country to be better, even if they're not gaining directly from it, even if they're not benefiting directly from it. The average person wants their country, wants things to work, right? That's the difference. And these people, they are calling them, oh, they are godless, they are not this one, they don't pray, they don't preach, they don't do this one, oh, their churches are being taken over, they are this and that. Yes, I agree, I understand. As a Christian, it breaks my heart when I realize that, oh, so many people there don't even know God. It breaks my heart. But again, those of you here that are assistant Jesus, those of you here that know God, those of you here that are, you know, in fact, seated at the right hand, right? Those of you who are God's whatever, favorites on earth, or whatever people think you are, many of you are wicked, many of you are godless, many of you are looking to cheat the next person. Cleanliness is next to godliness. That saying, I don't know who came up with it, but that saying is so true. It's so true. The reason why you people are very dirty in this country is because you don't know God. You are not godly. If you are godly, you want your environment to be clean. That's the truth. If you are a godly person, you cannot stand the kind of trash and nonsense that we stand in this country. You won't be able to stand it. The average person abroad is trying to, again, this is very nuanced. You guys know what I mean, right? But the average person abroad is taking care of their environment, you know, in their little ways. I mean, at least let me talk about where I was living there. In their little ways, everybody's trying to nurture the plants, the environment, the animals, this. I see people then, when I used to be in my office, you know, in my room, just looking out the window, a random person will just be walking by and see a cat and stop and cuddle the cat, or what they call it, pet the cat, and give the cat, you know, something to eat, take care of the cat. The average person, when they are walking their dogs and their dog poop on the road, they pick it up. That's what I used to say. And I'm not gonna pack my picking sheets finish. I'm gonna pack sheets for dog. I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm not gonna, like, never. Never ever. Okay, maybe when I'm older and maybe my kids are grown and maybe I need something to give me that feeling of taking care of something. I don't know. I beg, I'll wait for my grandchildren to come. Whenever that feeling comes, I'll wait for my grandchildren to come, right? So that's why I never understood the appeal of keeping pets like that. I can understand keeping pets like parrots. I need my parrots back. I can understand keeping pets like parrots, fish, but you see all those animals that are almost like children. Anyway, but the average person there, they're taking their dogs on a walk. The dog will poop. First of all, the dog will poop, you know, at the grass. So not like the dog will poop on main road or anything. The dog will poop at the grass, where technically, if you leave it, it turns to manure, right? But they will still pick it up. Nobody's eating and dropping things on the road. In fact, there are people that used to sit there that I'm pretty sure those people were not paid to do it, right? But you just see random people walking around just using this picker to pick, you know, any trash that they can find. And by trash, I mean maybe one paper, maybe someone's receipts that fell off or something, right? See people picking it. Who does that in Nigeria? Nigeria is that you will see a pile of rubbish in front of you. Una go turn around or cross over it. Nobody is picking share. Nobody is trying to keep the environment clean. Anyway, this is not a cleanliness rant video, but you guys get my point. So that's something I really, really struggle with. And I struggle with the idea of raising kids in a society where they think that is normal, right? Although I tell myself that I was raised in this society, but I don't think it is normal. So maybe my kids would, turn out like me and not see it as normal. But it's a gamble. It's a gamble because at the end of the day, you don't know how your kids are going to be affected. See, even the fact that Nigerians are very materialistic and are always looking to oppress the next person. That thing bothers me a lot, okay? That thing bothers me a lot because I'm just like, if your child grows up in such an environment, wouldn't they think it is normal? Again, I still console myself with the fact that, yes, I grew up in this environment and I don't think it is normal. But if you're not careful, your child will think it is normal for basic necessities, basic things to be used to oppress the next person. So that's one dilemma that you have to face as a parent in this country. Financially, am I better off in Nigeria or in the UK? To be honest, I would say it's the same thing. I really cannot. Oh no, look, no, we are better off in Nigeria financially in general, right? Long term, in general, financially, we are better off in Nigeria. But when it comes to day-to-day living, okay, when it comes to day-to-day living, are we better off in Nigeria than in the UK? To be honest, I think it's the same thing, okay? It's the same thing. Food is not cheaper here. Food was not cheap in the UK. Food is not cheaper here. I think food was a bit cheaper in the UK, I think. Well, it's dependent. So the things that are indigenous to the UK, they are cheaper than the things we were importing, like African food, right? Here, African food, Nigerian food, it's not that cheap, but it's cheaper than imported food here. So it's pretty much the same thing, okay, when it comes to, our daily living and how I'll even say, I think we're paying more here for power than we are paying in the UK. We're not paying for water here. Or maybe we did, maybe we paid in service charge, but we're not paying for what they call that thing. Okay, we pay service charge here, but we don't pay that thing that we pay in the UK. That it's like a maintenance fee for the estate or whatever. What they call that fee now? Anyway, let me know in the comment section if you guys know what I'm talking about. We don't pay that one here, but when it comes to our expenses, we are spending pretty much the same thing we were spending in the UK. Even with rent, our rent here and the rent in the UK, which if our rent in the UK was slightly more expensive, but when I say slightly, I mean slightly negligible, okay? Yes, we are paying almost the same thing for a bigger house here, and I know that whole dynamic is because we are even living in Lagos and where we live in Lagos, right? So technically, if we had, let's say, come back to Nigeria and move back to Port Harcourt, we would have been paying significantly less when it comes to accommodation, right? But right now we're paying pretty much the same thing for rent, we're paying pretty much the same thing for gas, fuel, we're paying pretty much the same thing for okay, here I drive more too, so I don't drive more. Do I drive more here? It's the same thing because I started driving pretty much immediately in the UK. I only used to take the bus when we used to go to the city center, which was like 3 times or 4 times throughout our stay there that I went with the bus. How many times I entered bus? I think just 4 times that I entered bus in the UK throughout my stay there. I was driving for the most part, so it's the same thing. What else? When it comes to clothes and all of that, again, it's the same thing. However, imported clothes are kind of more expensive here, or you pay for shipping. So for instance, I still buy from Zara, I still buy from ASOS, but technically I don't really pay for shipping, because I always try to get to the free shipping. What's the name? I try to get free shipping with Zara at least. Then with Shein and AliExpress and Temu, it's pretty much the same thing. So again, I think I've talked enough. If you guys have any question or is it better here in Nigeria, in the UK, like any other criteria you guys want to talk about, let me know in the comment section because I can't really think of anyone right now. In general, overall, I would say I don't really have that much change in my quality of life. Okay, quality of life, I don't have that much change. It's just that Nigeria, of course, is more stressful, right? When it comes to driving in hold up, which I rarely do, but let's just say you meet hold up on the road, or driving in general in Nigeria is actually technically it's actually more stressful driving in the UK, technically, if you don't know how to drive, right? Or if you just move there immediately, like me, I started driving immediately I moved there. I was using my Nigerian, like, international driver's license. That's what I was using initially, right? not international, my Nigerian driver's license, I was using it initially. So technically, when I first started driving, it was a bit stressful driving because there are so many what they call the traffic rules and signs and all those things that you need to master, right? But when you master them, driving there is easier because everybody drives with sense. Unlike Nigeria, where it's easy to just enter road, but people here don't drive with sense. So you are driving, you are matching brake like this. You're driving like this in Nigeria. In the UK, yes, you kind of drive like this because you have to pay attention to the road and you have to pay attention and you're driving on the side of the road, which was kind of, confusing for me for a little bit, right? So I was driving like this in the UK, but, it was more like, but in Nigeria, I'm driving like this. Like, waka. Hey guys, I told somebody waka recently and I was like, where did that come from? Because even when I was growing up, I never used to say waka to people. Like, it wasn't a thing for me to say waka, right? I mean, I knew what waka was. It was something that people used to say, people say normally, right? But it wasn't in my vocabulary. It wasn't something I used to say or do. But recently, I just saw myself turning and telling somebody waka. After that, I was like, you see, these are the issues. These are the issues. This is why. Why should I be telling somebody waka? A whole me. A whole me. It was actually sad. It was sad, right? It was actually sad. And my kids were in the car when I did that thing. It was sad. I don't even think they knew what I was. They didn't even understand it, right? Because they didn't know what it was, right? But when I saw myself doing that, I was like, what the hell? Where did it come from? Because again, like I said, even growing up in Nigeria, it wasn't something I ever did or said. I knew it, but I wasn't doing it or saying it to anybody. So imagine all of a sudden, I don't know where from the recesses or what they call it, from the innermost part of my subconscious, a nonsense driver on the road just brought out that part of it or that part of me, right? Which I have tried to suppress back. I'm not going to do that again. I've told myself, no matter what you do, I'll just do what I need to do. But you see all those trying to engage you or talk, but that's what driving in Nigeria does to you. You are getting what's this person driving? What are you driving? It's what I keep hearing myself say every day. What are you driving? Which kind of nonsense is this? What's all this? But yeah, overall, quality of life and all that, I would say I'm pretty much the same. It's just that Nigeria is a bit more stressful. But I wouldn't say, am I happier in Nigeria than I was in the UK? Technically, yes. Technically, I am happier here in Nigeria than I was in the UK. Technically. But I was a little bit more comfortable in the UK. I think that's how I explain it. I was a bit more comfortable in the UK, but I am happier in Nigeria, even though Nigeria is annoying and stressful. But I think I'm happier here. I prefer the UK weather. You see this sun. I said it now. When I was in the UK, summer was my worst weather in the UK. You see that 4 a.m. sun to 10 p.m. sun. I hated that. Was my worst weather in the UK. But you see, when there was, and I don't like cold though. Don't get me wrong. I don't like cold, but I prefer the cold weather. In fact, I will go back to the UK or wherever just because I want to experience snow again, right? So now coming back to Nigeria and now being in hot sun almost every day, it's actually annoying. But overall, I would say I'm happier in Nigeria. I'm closer to my parents. I can easily just pop in and pop out if I want to see my parents or see whatever. I still need to go and see my siblings at some point. But yeah, overall, 9 months later, this is actually 9 months. 9 months later, back to Nigeria. I would say that if anybody is looking to come back to Nigeria, that's a decision you have to make for yourself. When I see people online giving advice or whether you should come back or not come back, like, nobody can advise you enough, or like, do not take anybody's advice. If you want to stay back wherever, stay back. If you want to come back, come back. It is up to you. It's not up to whatever. I can tell you things that you can do to make your transition back to Nigeria easier. Okay, if you know you want to come back, I can tell you things that will make it easier for you to come back. But whether or not you should come back, it is entirely up to you. Now your eyes go peel. Now your eyes go see something. Either ways, right? Whether you stay back or you come back, now you go suffer the suffer where they suffer. It doesn't have anything to do with me or my life or my family or how I live my own life. Trust me, no matter how you think your life is similar to mine, it is not. Okay, no, because I'm not telling you everything, I'm not showing you everything, I'm not, you don't know everything, right? So no matter how you think somebody online, their life is similar to yours, it is not. Okay, so that's a decision you have to make for yourself, and hopefully you make the right decision before it's too late, or when you can, right? Anyway, those are my thoughts on moving back to Nigeria, how it has been for me. Anything else I need to add, or any questions you guys have for me, I would answer. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I'll see you all in my next video. I'm feeling myself. Oh, I like this look. Oh, this is my ring. This my ring is too big, but I keep wearing it. I was wearing it when I was bigger. But yeah, I love my hair. I like everything about myself. I'm awesome. I'm amazing. I'm beautiful. I'll see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.